Ah, yes. Here we are once again, the High Noon Hemp Show, which means, of course, it's noon Eastern Time on a Wednesday. If you're watching video live, you can watch it live or on demand on the Hemptations Beast Facebook page, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, or at Hemptations on Twitter. If you want the podcast, of course, you want to see all us in all of our glory. You just want to hear us in all of our glory. We can do that as well. Search the High Noon Hemp Show on Podbean, Google Play, or the iHeartRadio app. I am Stoner Jesus. You can find various things I do on the interwebs by searching them. He is Beach, the man himself, high above the Hemptations in Sharonville at the Hemp Quarters. Beach, how are things this week in the world of Hemptations?
Things are good. Things are good. It's another good week in the world, I suppose. I just saw the COVID numbers in Ohio have dramatically dropped. And of course, everybody, it's like the world is open again. Again, it literally, they turn the sign on, open. Everyone, everyone is paying attention with all their glory, and they're getting back out there, um, you know, doing their thing. So thanks everybody for coming back into the store. I understand if you haven't been. It's true. Welcome to the High Noon Hemp Show. It is Wednesday. I am high above the Sharonville location at what I call the Hemp Quarters. It's true. I'm watching the YouTube feed, so you're on there and you want to comment on there. Hopefully, I'll notice that. My partner in crime over there, Stoner Jesus, usually views or watches, pays attention to the Hemptations Beach Facebook. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post those. And that's a little high. Okay. Keep messing with it. Um, and so yeah, here we are. I do want to start the show this week with a picture of a screenshot, which I just absolutely love. Now, the original post was from Perfect Jeans. Um, and I commented on the post, if they were made out of hemp. No, I said if they were made out of hemp. Um, oh my gosh, I can't hardly read it because my eyes are so bad.
They're not
Uh,
made of hemp, they are
if
far
they,
perfect.
there we go. If they are not made of hemp, they are far from perfect. I can't remember my written words. Um, and I love their response with it, which is touche. We should do a hemp jeans. I'll pass the request along. So, uh,
Nice.
thanks for paying attention, Perfect Gene, and thanks for knowing that hemp would make them a better Perfect Gene. And so we'll see where that goes. If they add hemp to the Perfect Gene, the world can thank me.
That's right.
Um,
Really take credit.
and that's the kind of stuff we need. Stay on the companies, people out there. You see Facebook and they're trying to brag that they've got the perfect shirt and it doesn't have hemp in it, or the perfect this and it doesn't have hemp in it, and it's not the perfect anything. And of course, I don't believe in perfect, but it's okay. It's okay. That's why the perfect gene is not perfect. There is no perfect. Put some hemp in it and it'll be closer. So that being said, let's just get on to the product spotlight. I suppose I should have added a pair of jeans from the store. Didn't think that one out too far, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because of course we do have those products. So next week I will show you. Oh, I'd put that on. But this is four from the store, and what I say, one from my door, a personal hemp product. So the first one is new again, going on this Delta 8. Um, what do I want to say? The popularity of Delta 8. We got some new Delta 8 flour. Um, this is the TKO Delta 8 flour. So we'll see. The old brand that we had, for some reason, wasn't producing hemp Delta 8 flour anymore. And we call it Delta 8 flour for the record. It's actually CBD or CBG flour normally, um, sprayed with Delta 8, because Delta 8 is a minor cannabinoid. And so there's not a lot of it, um, like there is THC or CBD in hemp flower and CBG. We're seeing we can kind of boost those CBG numbers, but even the CBG content is not that high percentage wise as we're getting the CBD and as we've gotten uh, THC in that world. And so that's how it works with Delta 8 flower. It's not in the flower, so to speak. It's on the flower. Um, the next one here is the local farm. I'm pretty sure I showed these when we first got them in, but the pre rolls, the CBD pre rolls are really big right now as well. And this is Buckeye Farms here in Ohio. So we like to support local farmers or businesses, regardless of what you're making or doing or selling. If it's hemp, we definitely love to support those people. So and these do well for us. I just got a shipment in because they sell really well. So it's good CBD flower there. The next one, and I was talking last week about lip balm and summer, and so I thought I would show our lip balm, uh, Temptations brand lip balm, and different flavors. Well, this is the selection in Sharonville, so it really probably depends on what store you're in to what you can get, um, and we may start giving this away because I know it's probably getting into the end of its, but it's still good. Trust me. I actually grabbed a I grabbed one the other day just to make sure I needed lip balm, and so I grabbed one, and it was fresh still. So it wasn't hard like they normally get when they dry up, and so it's still good stuff. Um, hemp is great for dryness and whatnot, and so in the summertime, although it's going to rain for a week here, so we're not going to have some any dryness for a while. But if you're in the heat or the desert, hemp lip balm is great. Um, and then this last one, I know I showed these when we first got them in, but it's the radius toothbrushes, and so the handle is made out of hemp, and the handle is like reusable, and then the brushes come out, and then you can replace the brushes eventually when the brush hairs run out. Now again, there was something like 1,000 or 3,000 fibers in the head. It's a lot to me. And I use the soft one, and it is soft, but they're kind of bigger than your standard head of a toothbrush as well. So I really feel like it gets more coverage, like you do the top and it's getting the sides and whatnot. And so I really like them as a toothbrush. I'm not just saying that because we sell them. I think the toothbrush part is actually um, because this company added these to their line. They had been doing um, recycled plastic, I think, handles and other things environmentally friendly with their toothbrushes, and then I believe they added this hemp composite one to their line, and so good for them. And once again, you're done with that, you can throw that in the compost pile or bury it in the backyard, and it'll break down to nature and be done. But should also last forever for the most part. Um, if you don't want to do that, and so there you have it for from the store. And I'm hopefully I've got these on the website. I don't know if I do yet or not, but I am going to get these on the website as well. So keep checking in on the website to see new products there. You can go to hemptations.com and click shop online, and that will send you over to planeteverywhere.com, which is the website where you can do some shopping if you so care desire. Now, this one for my door, I just found again because I pulled my old Prelude out to drive. I really missed that car, so I thought I'd drive it. And this bag was in there. Now, the the real claim to fame of this particular model of bag is Woody Harrelson wore one of these in one of the movies he was in.
Hmm.
I should have looked it up and I didn't, but he's a bank robber or involved with bank robbers, I believe. Um, but throughout the movie, I think when he's in the bank at some point or another, and I don't know why I picture him under a table in the bank. I'm not sure what's going on, but you can see that he clearly has one of these bags. And so, and I, for a, I love it for a one strap because again, this was maybe early cell phone, somewhat early cell phone, but they've got a real nice pocket like right there for your cell phone that velcros closed, and then there's a zipper pocket under that on the in front, um, and then the back has a like a side pocket that goes through it. You could almost put a laptop or something. If this bag was designed right now, I think they would sell a ton of them because it's a perfect size
Yeah.
for an iPad or a tablet. Perfect size for a tablet. Again, the company was of the earth. I don't know if they're still out there or not. Here's another company that we used to sell their products so long ago. I'd kind of forgot about them. I'd be hard pressed to think that they're still doing stuff, and I don't know. Most of the companies, when I say that, I go back and look, and I can't find any traces of them, which is unfortunate. Again, because they really had something at the time. And again, I think this bag right now would be super popular.
Yeah.
They did have zipper issues. Unfortunately, I know I had to replace the zipper in this, and and of course, I had zipper issues with the replacement zipper. But maybe the bag just doesn't want to have a zipper on it. It refuses. It refuses. So, anyway, there you have it. There's the one from my door, my of the earth one strap bag that again Woody Harrelson showed off one of these in one of his movies. I'll go back and find that. I need to find that. There's another movie, Twister. I think it was called Twister with the about the tornadoes. She
Yeah.
carries a hemp backpack throughout the movie,
Oh, wow.
and so I need to go back and get some clips of those, I suppose, and show those. Hemp Week's coming up. That's my goal for Hemp Week.
There you go.
Find some more movies where they mention hemp. I found something else that mentioned hemp the other day. House. I was watching House, and these poor people. She wasn't breastfeeding, and they this concoction they were giving the baby was making the baby malnutrition, and so House says to him, "What the baby needs is," and this is kind of funny because he says proteins and this and that and this, and what he doesn't need is kale and hemp. As he specifically says, what the baby doesn't need is kale and hemp. And I'm thinking to myself, I think hemp would be a great, and I think we just talked about this because there was an actress or a music star, music person that she was catching flack because she was using hemp in her baby formula. And I was, I think it's a great source for protein, and so I feel like that should work anyway. Um,
Absolutely.
let's get
There's
on.
Ken checking in on Facebook. So that's some trivia. Helen Hunt had a hemp bag. Indeed. I must
Yes.
have seen the movie 20 or 30 times. One of those movies in school where if there was a substitute teacher and they wheeled in the VCR and the TV on the VCR, there's like Twister and Home Alone and a couple of other movies that we just kind of rotated and watched many, many times. But it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Interesting too. Like put together a list of movies where hemp has been mentioned. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I've tried to collect what I can, and there's not, I did the TV shows because there's, quite a bit of TV shows, but,
Mm.
but anyway, yeah, it's, every once in a while it pops up, in conversation for sure. So yeah, I'll work on that. I do have a clip. We'll show that clip for Hemp Week of the TV shows and whatnot that talk about hemp. And I know, and I think it was, I'm going to go out on a limb that Seth Rogen, I think it was a Seth Rogen movie. It's not, obviously too old, where he actually mentioned CBD, where they talk about making some type of drink and adding CBD to it or something. And so, um, anyway, there you have a little bit of trivia in between the product spotlight and the next segment.
Which, of course, is the greatest segment in internet history. I keep saying it. No one's proved me wrong yet, so it must be true. That's what I'm going with. Is the segment where hemp and fashion collide. When we ask Beach the most important question you're going to hear anyone ask all day And of course, Beach answers, because that's the whole purpose of the segment. What are you wearing, Beach?
Don't ask me what I'm doing, but if you do want to know what are you wearing, Beach,
You refuse to talk
here
about
you have. Anyway, um, I would call it gray today for the most part, purple and gray all the way. If you don't know, so on the old lid there, I've got the Adidas hat. My young Maven Bunbury tee. So we vended at Bunbury for the first probably 3 or 4 years, um, and so we made these shirts to vend at Bunbury. I've got my Prana shorts. I love bad briefs, and if you look real close, of course, in my pocket there, I don't know if you can actually see it, but I swear it's there. My Green Springs Technology pen, because it's always in my pocket. Um, and then we got my No Traders, or my Hemp Traders, No Traders, Hemp Traders No Show socks, which I love in the summertime with a good old pair of shell-toed Adidas. Quite minimalist because again it's warm, it's rainy, but it's still warm here. Um, and so there you have it. If you were asking yourself earlier or at any time, what are you wearing today, Beach? Now you know on the High Noon Hemp Show. Yes, this tab is using my camera. I don't know why that just popped up.
Technology.
Yep, that's what happens here on the High Noon Hemp Show. When we're lucky, knock on the screen. I don't know if that actually works or not. But, I have definitely some interesting and of course fun, great news this week. Every week it seems to be getting better and better, and some of the stuff that I feel like I find to show the world on the High Noon Hemp Show. The first thing I do want to talk about, and I don't have a picture for this, of course, is the Texas Delta 8 ban went down as it should. Again, they like what you see these articles and they make it sound like people are getting stoned. The euphoric value of Delta 8 is very minimal. If there is any side effects at all, and again, it should be completely legal along with industrial hemp. And so I'm glad that I think it was in the Senate. They it failed to pass and go any further in Texas. So good move, Texas. Good move. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter author, admits to using CBD gummies for nerve and muscle pain. And so, you know, it's and again, once again, I think she is possibly going to endorse a product soon. But she had been using this stuff previous before she maybe started endorsing. But she's just telling people, to be honest with you, that she uses it for this, and um, that's what it is. And so, good for her. Good for her. Let's see here. This is here we're seeing already the loss of a lot of hemp farming in the state of Wisconsin. They had 40% less licenses, process applications, or hemp growing licenses. 40%.
Wow.
And that's probably because they had. I don't know if I've seen Wisconsin's loss numbers. I forget already because I've been talking about it. But with the state's losses we're seeing, and of course that's if it's anywhere between 10 and 20%. Last year's crops were lost because they tested hot, as they like to call it, which was 0.4% or more THC, which is the minimum. 0.3% or less is the minimum, I should say the maximum that you can have in a product, in the flower. And so I also think that probably 2 years ago, 2 years ago was actually the boon. Last year was the um, lot of leftovers because everybody was still expecting it to boon and it didn't. We had everybody all of a sudden was making it. which once again is why we're seeing CBD everywhere. Was because there was a lot of it grown last year, but a lot of that was left over. And so, you're probably losing a lot of farmers that are saying, "Look, I still got a barn full of this stuff to get rid of from last year. I'm not going to grow it again this year." Um, and so, that's kind of an unfortunate part of economics, as they say. Supply and demand and all those things, and eventually, it'll work its way out. Um, once we've really figured it all out. Although demand is continuing to go up, so we need supply to go up. But I just all of a sudden we had way oversupply, which is great for the consumer because that drives the prices down. It's
Mhm.
not great for the grower or the manufacturers, but it is good for the consumer because we've seen prices drop decently, and I feel like I expect one more possible price drop as we get a little bit more stable as to what it is. And I understand why CBD has to be a little bit more expensive um, because as I've always said, CBD farming is everyday farming. If you're growing for grain or you're growing for fiber, you're growing like you are corn or soy. You're keeping an eye on the fields, but you're not walking through the field every day. you know, um, you're not checking out every single plant to make sure that it's growing well, staying safe, so to speak. But that's what CBD farming is, and so uh, you know I think farmers are farmers that went over to CBD thinking they were just going to farm like farmers do were probably they're not used to that kind of farming. They're not micromanaging the plants. To them, that's something that's done by somebody else, a whole different type of farming. Um, and so that is what it is. Those numbers are going to be balanced out. So, and again, those farmers should have been growing for grain or fiber, but they were looking for that big cash return as well with CBD. And so now they're discouraged to grow hemp at all. When really, if they want to go back to growing a plant that's more like corn or soy, where again, you're looking at the field and assessing the the um, the the healthiness of the field, but you're not walking through it every day, checking out every plant, and that's what your everyday farmer now should transition to. If you're an everyday farmer now and you're trying to transition to CBD again, you're transitioning to a whole different type of farming. Um, and so, and that's why we're seeing the THC farmers move into CBD now, which I think is unbelievable. And so, um, but once again, supply and demand for the actual flower products, which is new to CBD. Because for years we didn't, the hemp actual CBD flower products have probably only been around for a year or two, whereas tinctures and the oils and whatnot, of course, we've been selling those for 10 years, and so now we're seeing the THC farmers, which again, that's every plant every day type of growing, switching over to CBD and putting their and those I think are those in the long run will probably be the most successful CBD farms. Of course, they're going to be the big guys. Like one of the companies I'm dealing with, 100 acres of CBD flower. I mean, and that's just to me that is an incredible. I mean, 100 acres of grain or 100 acres of fiber. I mean, but 100 acres of CBD flower to manage. Whew, I mean, great on them. Great on them. And again, they're doing it in Oregon where they've been doing that with THC and so they have the experience to be successful, and that's kind of where I think, and all the CBD farmers are going to have to get that niche, either a niche strain or, again, put the work into it to produce that flower that the consumer wants. So, and this is interesting because I know that I've talked about CBD and driving, but it looks like West Virginia University is going to do a study in CBD effects on driving. And I believe it might have actually come out of the original study that I talked about on the show, may have come out of the UK or somewhere, but there has been a study done that said there's like zero risk in driving under the influence of CBD. And so we'll see what West Virginia University comes up with. Um, and But I'm quite confident that they too will find that there will be no. They might even find that people drive better. I think they were working with a 300 milligram CBD product, if I remember correctly, and so they might actually find that amount of CBD helps give some people clarity. They may actually drive better under the influence of CBD. I don't know. It's just my hypothesis. Um, All right. Well, let's start the picture of the the pics, I should say, of the dwellings that I have. We have three different ones. So this is a tiny house, 140 square feet in there. This is just the first tiny house made of hempcrete. But again, this is, I believe, if I think they're spraying it into the walls. Um, I didn't really see a good picture of the inside. I should have looked a little better. But again, you can't use hempcrete, to my understanding, for load bearing. So, um, and that's why we're seeing a lot of it in the walls of homes, because they stud in the walls and then they spray in the hempcrete, and it's great insulation. It's super clean. The history of hempcrete goes back to the first hemp house in Asheville, North Carolina. It was built by parents who were studying. They studied the best ingredients, so to speak, to build a house for a child who is ultra sensitive, and hempcrete won. That house still exists, and we're seeing more and more happening. And so, again, this little tiny house is pretty cool because it's hempcrete walls. Again, great insulation there, one way or another. Now this next house, and this is what they're saying, not a tiny house. They didn't say that. I said that, but it is definitely not a tiny house. They're claiming, and I'm sure it's true, that this is the first spray applied. So once again, they sprayed the hemp to the frame of the house, so to speak. Um, First spray applied hemp house in the second hemp house in Virginia. What I love about this, in all honesty, is the gentleman, the people that are building this house. He is a custom woodworker, and so obviously he has this custom woodwork. You can see even in the front there. But the fact that a person that owned a custom woodworking business decided to use hempcrete to build the walls of their house really, again, says something. Um, Probably, once again, the efficiency of it, the insulation properties of it, the cleanliness environmentally of it, just the environmental benefits, period, of using hempcrete alone. I know I've mentioned it once and I'll mention it again. The world is going to go through a sand shortage, and concrete is the problem. So if we don't start using hempcrete, because you can replace that sand with hemp um, much sooner as opposed to later, we're going to run out of the right sand. And I know it's not desert sand. You can't use desert sand to build with, according to the builders and the people that because that's what everyone thinks too. What we're doing is we're depleting like sand we we enjoy as humans, I think, to build with, which of course we also enjoy as humans. I'm not saying we all don't deserve a roof over our head. That is for sure. But I think this is the time now in the world, and in most of Europe has always had a conscience, I think, about building. Here in America, um, we, because we don't have much of a conscience. We just want what we want, and we have safety regulations that make those buildings better and safer than a lot of places in the world, but not environmentally friendly or anything like that. And so, I think we need to start really thinking about that when it comes to building. And once again, you was literally build a hemp house from the ground up and furnish it inside with hemp, and do all the things that you may or may not need in a home, um, made out of hemp. From shutters to curtains to insulation to all those things. And again, it's a sustainable. It's sustainable. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna say it one more time. Actually, it's sustainable. Um, and so let's show our our last little tiny home, so to speak, here. Um, and if you don't know, and I am like, somewhat obsessed with Goodvin Designs. Now, she is on Facebook. I believe she has I'm sure she has a website. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Um, but she's obsessed with using hemp in all things, and I love it. They're actually, I believe that one of the businesses that she does, or her main business, is in fact tiny homes. And so, but her posts on Facebook are all kinds of cool stuff. Hemp wood stuff, all kinds of neat 3D printing with hemp, um, but just really neat. And so I saw the frame of this going up on one of her posts 3 months ago or so, or they had gotten maybe the first layer on. So here she's put the walls on this little geometric kind of um, building. Again, probably not very big. I didn't get the square footage, but it's probably not more than 140 square feet in there either. Maybe a little more, because it does look like it's got a decent little floor. It's kind of like a hemp yurt kind of design, um, but super cool, super cool. I definitely like the way they've done the different colors, which I think is really neat. It's kind of just like coloring the hempcrete. Um, and I've seen some pretty neat natural, hopefully natural coloring done. And so I think that's pretty cool too. And I would definitely recommend, if you're into all things hemp, finding um, Goodvin Goodvin Designs. Again, they're on Facebook. I'm sure she's got a website. They're in Alberta, Canada. So if they're building this in Alberta, again, there's their testament to probably it must be somewhat of a good insulator. Because I'm guessing it gets cold in Alberta. It's just a
Yeah.
guess, just a guess. Um, so I think that's my favorite, honestly. Although I definitely would dream of that big house made of hemp with the two decks and the decks and whatnot. Even though I was just saying my dream house is actually built into the ground. We can still use hemp. We would use hemp, but it would be built in. Yeah.
Ken on Facebook asking about a possibility of a future Hemptations location made of hemp.
Man, that would be also super dope. I mean that now you got me spinning. I will say this: I don't think we can do it in Cincinnati still, because it was probably a year or two ago. We might have to check back into it, but there was an architect that was actually going to try to build a house or build something, a structure in Cincinnati, and the city of Cincinnati denied him the permit to work with hemp.
Wow.
So um, I'm guessing maybe Kentucky they would probably be friendly to the idea. Um, but I suppose, and I say in the back of my head now more than anything is yes, every town needs a Temptations, but do I want any more locations? I don't know. Um, I suppose if I could figure out how to build if I could figure out how to build a location out of hemp, that would be, man. Now you got me going. Now you got me thinking. That would be that would be really cool. Yeah, yeah. And I do want to do a hempcrete project. I really do.
Mhm.
We've been talking about doing something here at the Sharonville location, um, so that we could, people could check it out. It wouldn't be real big or anything, but just something small that people could
Yeah.
check out. Maybe do I really wanted to do like a hempcrete bench people could sit on, um, things like that. I think be pretty neat, or just start making like hempcrete whatevers, because again, you can buy a concrete whatever duck. I just, you drive by the place and they got all the, or if you go to the garden shop, they've got all that stuff, and so whatever it may be, making kind of stuff like that out of hempcrete, I think would be really cool too. Um, and so, yeah, a location made out of hemp. Now you got me dreaming about something else I got to dream about, make happen. All right. Well, I'm going to put that on the board. Hempcrete location. Great
Yeah.
idea. Great idea. No doubt about it. Um, all right. Well, I know I've shown, I think, some pics of these jeans before. This is the AG. Company's called AG. Gene of Tomorrow. That's the line. These are a hemp gene. They were. Um, this article was just talking about them as a great Father's Day gift, and so I'm gonna have to go and check and see if they actually have any in stock. But again, it's just AG. The two letters is the name of the company, and the line is called Gene of Tomorrow. And so, and I believe they're described as a skinny gene, as you can see. That guy's pretty skinny, and that's pretty skinny cut. So take that into consideration. But a jean jacket, again,
Yeah.
pretty cool. I've got a couple jean jackets um, from back in the day. I feel like the jean jacket will probably make a comeback soon. It's hard to say. Hopefully, the hemp jean jacket will bring it back, if anything.
Yep.
Um, this next pick is the pick of the American flag. Now, I have held a corner of this flag. We were on, I believe, the Idaho State Capitol. Is that where I was? I'm gonna have to go back and look. Idaho State Capitol building. But what I didn't know is this flag actually flew in front of the Colorado State House last year for Hemp Week, and so and of course Colorado has been behind hemp as much as they've been behind it, any form of cannabis, which is great. And so I know the governor has actually spoke at and opened up the NoCo um, uh, Expo out there the last couple of years, really highly supporting the whole industry, from farming to retail. Although they think they just banned some stuff for retail to help I think it was the Delta 8 stuff, wasn't it? Look and see if that actually went through, but so I don't know what that was about. But anyway, this flag is made out of, I believe, Kentucky grown hemp, if I remember correctly, um, and has been all over the country. And probably, I can't even imagine how many state houses or capitals. Um, Rick Trojan, who is the hemp road trip, um, has visited with this flag. We also carried it through. We carried it through. I think it was the Chicago State House, possibly. And then we held it in front of the Capitol building in Idaho. I'm trying to think. That might have been the only two places we actually pulled it out. So anyway, there you have it, folks. And of course, most of the original flags, if there were two things that they uses in most of the original American flags, and that was hemp or wool. Almost all flags. I think it was, if I remember correctly, if an American flag has less than 37 stars and it feels like linen or cotton, or it's probably hemp. You can tell the difference between wool and hemp, for sure. And I could probably tell the difference, especially then, even though the cotton may be a little bit more knotted. But again, cotton wasn't a huge industry when we founded this country. When the Europeans took over America, we brought hemp and used hemp, and that's why the most of the cloth originally in America would have been hemp or wool. Possibly cotton from, it would have had to have been imported, where we could grow hemp here. They were growing hemp here originally till it took over the South, and then they figured out that they could grow cotton in the South, I think, or cotton may have been growing. I don't know the whole history because I don't like cotton. And it's not that I don't like cotton, the plant, because I love organic cotton. If you're going to buy cotton, buy organic cotton. The problem with cotton, if it's not organic, is that it is the leading user of all chemicals of any agricultural crop on the planet. And it is not single handedly, but done its well share of destroying a lot of the earth, just destroying the soil. You know, I think I read somewhere that it could take 20, 30, 40 years to even slightly replenish the lands where cotton has been grown. I just, and again, that's the reason why they have to dump a bunch of chemicals on it. That's because where they grow it, they have this depleted. And apparently they don't rotate crops or believe in that. It's just grow cotton because they've got us all believing that cotton's the only fiber for the most part to mass produce clothing out of. It's a lie. It's a lie. Hemp. We need to make hemp the next cotton, and the cotton industry needs to freaking get behind it because they're destroying the planet. I just don't understand. Just convert. I don't know what the first few years of growing industrial hemp on cotton land would be, but there's an experiment I'd like to see. Unfortunately, hemp does need, it likes its nutrients, I believe. It's nitrogen. It really likes nitrogen to be healthy. Now how healthy it needs to be to grow successful fiber, it's hard to say. Um, you know, but I guarantee it's still superior to cotton, however you want to test it. Strength, um, lack of chemical content to use, lack of water. We already know, I did the amount of water I've heard to make a cotton T-shirt. Again, I don't know how the number can be so high, um, but it's amazing. Again, you don't need that to make a hemp T-shirt. You just weave it. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I guess just because you have to, with cotton, it's such small fiber. That's why hemp is superior. Is because hemp is this big, long fiber grown from the root to the top of the plant for the most part. Cotton is a tiny little fibers. Um, so another reason why we need to be growing hemp for fiber. Um, Here's another article titled Five Best Father's Day Gifts. Just CBD gummies made the list. We sell just CBD gummies, is why I mentioned it. But this is in the UK, and they're really getting friendly to CBD, apparently. But it was on the list for something good to get pops for Father's Day. So consider that for Father's Day, especially if you still stress him out.
That's right.
Um, but anyway, let's see. Oh, in I think this is the last little bit of, I don't want to really say news, but an interesting product. But the article was titled "Best Sleeping Bags for Hot Weather," and the one that made the list was this kids hemp linen sleeping bag made with organic hemp fiber fillings. And again, when they were talking about it, they were mentioning the lack of chemicals that your child would could possibly breathe in when using organic hemp, which obviously would be true with any organic fiber. But hemp is organic by nature. It doesn't require, when you're growing for fiber, and I think when you're growing for grain, in all honesty, it does not require a whole lot to be successful. If anything, what I have seen is nitrogen, if anything. And of course, I'm pretty sure we can get nitrogen based fertilizers naturally. So that's not like
Nope. First glitch? I believe so. Almost made it through a whole episode without glitches, but there's one. Of course, remember Hemptations.com for locations if you're in Southwest Ohio. PlanetEverywhere.com for online ordering. If the products ship to you, and of course, we're here every Wednesday with knowledge and other forms of entertainment. Maybe a witty comment by me every now and then. I try. There you go, sleeping bag. Of course, we want to thank you all for checking us out every week, even through the glitches and stuff, because it's an internet program, and there's different internet, my internet, his internet. They have to come together and work cohesively. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes we go a whole show without any glitches or without Beach having to drop out and come back or restart or whatever. And sometimes we have to do it many times during an episode. It is what it is. We're bringing the knowledge. We'll go through what we have to bring the knowledge up.
oh, yeah,
And
back.
Beach has returned.
Yes, just in time to finish out the show. It's still doing something weird on YouTube. I suppose I'll come back on there too, because I don't know that it was, or maybe it was still showing you, but it looks like the YouTube feed is frozen, which is weird. So I don't know what's going on there, but I'm back to hopefully close the show successfully. But again, kids sleeping bag using organic hemp. It's a great thing. Um, I swear it is. It's true. Um, so I think that's all the news that I have. Let's see. We got a little bit of events here. The end of June. Again, you got the Pennsylvania Hemp Festival, 25th through the 27th. Also, the 25th through the 27th, you have the Southern Atlantic Hemp and Arts Expo in Fletcher, North Carolina. July 12th, again, I just love this little thing that they're doing in Chapel Hill, North Carolina on July 12th, which is called Hemp Coffee and Books. And again, it's from 5 p.m. to 6:10 p.m. At the Cafe Dryad or whatever it is. And then again, we're getting pretty close here. Just a month away or so, a little over a month away to Hemp Week, July 17th through the 23rd. And so, that's to put that show on your calendar, because that's going to be chocked full of hemp stuff. It's no longer Hemp History Week. So now I can talk about all things hemp during Hemp Week, not just the history. Of course, we'll probably have daily. I think we're going to do daily. Well, hemp will be on sale all week, probably, just 10% off or something. But then we'll do daily. Paper will be super duper off one day, and clothing may be super duper off another to celebrate Hemp Week. And also July 17th, kicking off Hemp Week, if you're down around the Frankfurt area, is the Kentucky CBD and Hemp Show. And so that's what's going on. Again, if you have an event that you would like me to get out there and tell the world about, just email me at hemptations@yahoo. You can go to the website and go to one of the pages and contact me through there at hemptations.com. I'm pretty easy to find if you really want to ask me a question or tell me about an event. The reason I say ask me a question is because I try to end the show with ask me or answering a question, but I never get any questions. Now, all I can chalk that up to is I'm doing a really good job of answering the questions during the show.
That's right.
So I'm leaving as little as I can unknown. So that's how I'm good. That's how I'm going to take not getting any questions about hemp. Um, and so anyway, I will want to say about questions about hemp, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning, and I will definitely let everybody know, if you're going. But I believe that I'm actually going to be speaking at the Mensa conference.
Wow.
Yeah, I have been asked by the Mensa, the local Mensa. I think it's just a local Mensa thing. But I don't know though. I mean, people may come into Cincinnati for this Mensa event. I'm not sure. It's at a hotel, so I'm only going to guess that there's most likely that, um, if you go to Mensa's website, it's one of the only events listed so far as a Mensa thing. If you don't know what Mensa is the organization for high IQ people.
Mhm.
I didn't notice. I didn't say smart. The only reason I say that is because sometimes us high IQ people are not that smart. We don't, it's just a number in my opinion. But and so I thought that was pretty neat that they approached me. Um, they want me to do CBD, but I'm going to do CBD and hemp. I'm going to do all of it. But either way, but that's not until August, just a couple months away. But and so I think that'll be fun. Now I am very much looking forward to the questions that I'm going to get at the Mensa event. Because geniuses love to try to stump people, even if you're smart. They still are going to try to, they're going to be on me. I know that already, so I'm going to be well prepared for anyway. But when it comes to hemp, he can't stop me again. It's like if I talk about it, I know it's a fact.
Right.
Because I don't have to lie about hemp. I've never had to lie about hemp. I've never had to make anything up about hemp that's not true. It is literally the greatest thing, and everything that I say about it is true, as hard as it may be to believe. Um, so, I've also replaced the Ask Beach Anything with Beach Thoughts, and there you have it, folks. There's to close the show with my beach thoughts. They're pretty well researched, pretty well true. Hemp is great, and hemp can do all of the things that we talk about it doing on the High Noon Hemp Show. And that's been more true to proof recently, because if you go back over the last month or two, it's just jam packed full of products. Um,
Yep.
I'm hoping, knock on some hemp plastic, some hemp composite. I'll knock on some right now. That I find a bunch of stuff, in the next couple of weeks that they're making out of that, because that is my passion. Deep inside, my passion is to get rid of plastic as much as we can. And we can't do 100%. If you see those posts, hemp plastic can replace 100% of the plastic, or hemp composite can replace 100% of the plastic, it can't. But it can do 60 to 70%. And if we can get rid of 60 to 70% of the plastic in the world, make the rest of it out of recycled stuff, hopefully, I don't know. Um, Once again, we are doing the planet a grave, grave benefit. Um, and it will enjoy it for millions and millions of years, I'm sure. Um, and so there you have it, folks. Thank you for watching the High Noon Hemp Show. Sometimes I don't think they're going to go that long, and now I'm looking down and I'm like, this show almost went an hour. And we didn't even have that many glitches. Thanks, folks, for being patient. If you're watching later, thank you for watching later. Anywhere you are, and remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week.